Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon. I'm Bob Sanborn, President and CEO of Children at Risk, and we're excited to do in our 20th plus year the school rankings for the state of Texas. We've been doing this every year for 20 years, and every year it's sort of a blast, right? This whole idea of looking at every single public school in our state and looking at the pure data and our own methodology, which we'll talk about, and figuring out for parents, what are those top schools that we should be interested in? What are those top schools we should be emulating? One of the things that's very interesting about Texas is that 10% of all the kids who live in America, in the United States, live in the state of Texas. And so, if we're really going to do the work that we need to do and make sure these kids are part of the vibrant Texas and American economy, we need to make sure that they get a spectacular education. Moreover, in the state of Texas, we're talking about 65% of our children in our public schools are growing up in economically disadvantaged households, low income households. So that means the job is even much more there in terms of making sure that we're successful. Yet, time and time again, we see these extraordinary schools. This year in our rankings, a couple of things really popped out at us, which we were real excited about. One is that of the 5.2 million kids that are going to public schools in the state of Texas, more and more of them, more than ever before, are going to schools that are rated an A or a B. And so we saw this increase, and we were very excited about the quality of public schools. So sometimes we'll see this spin that we have horrible schools in the state of Texas. Well, yeah, in some cases we could have better schools, but the fact that our schools are getting better and better, I think is extraordinary. One of the things that I like to talk about is that 20 years ago, when we started these ratings, we always looked for these schools that were doing a very good job with kids that are coming from low income families. We are far and away doing a better job with those kids than we used to do. So it's very exciting that we're here and we're doing this work. So I want to start with saying that we looked at over 7,000 public schools in the state of Texas, 4,300 elementaries, nearly 2,000 middle schools, and almost 1,000 high schools across the state of Texas. And again, we saw them doing very, very well with decreases in the number of kids that were in schools that got a D or an F. When we looked at student achievement, performance, and student growth, we saw increases all across the board. Our kids are doing better. Our schools are doing better. This year, one of the changes that we did, and Christine will talk a little bit about this in a minute, was that we looked at our gold ribbon schools. And gold ribbon schools are those schools that have over 75% of the kids are coming from low income families, yet those schools are getting a B or an A or a B. This year, we added magnet and charter schools to that equation. Previously, we just said we're just going to look at neighborhood schools. Now we're looking at any school that serves over 75% economically disadvantaged kids. And we put them into that category. They're eligible to be a gold ribbon. If they get an A or a B, they are a gold ribbon. And so, with or without that, we saw an increase in those schools, and we're very excited about that as well. Across the state, and we're going to have, as you see, we're going to have a number of principals from across the state say a few words here in a little bit as we award some of the best schools in our state. Across the state, we saw some real bright spots. Leading the way for the first time ever was West Texas. So El Paso and the West Texas area did an extraordinary job this year. And this is on top of a large group of kids, a majority of kids that are growing up in low-income households. They're doing a great job out there in West Texas, so we'll hear from them in just a little bit. Coming in second in terms of regions was Houston. Houston really had some really strong improvements, specifically in student achievement and growth. But it was a real comeback. And some people will say, well, was that part of the Houston Independent School District? What's going on there? In some ways, yes. But in most ways, it was all across the region, district after district after district, we're doing way better. And so we're very excited about that. The Rio Grande Valley, which has been exemplary over the last 20 years in terms of really improving. Here we have some of the highest poverty in the state of Texas. And yet we see this district really doing very well. And that's a history of sort of these activist superintendents and principals. And much like West Texas, high levels of retention, right? People who grew up in those areas love living in those areas. And so we're really excited to see the improvement that's going on in there. I think that as we get going, we also wanted to recognize that there are a couple of districts across the state. There is a number of small districts that did really well, but I want to recognize some of the large districts. Up in North Texas, Capel ISD, what a great district. Things are happening there. Wiley ISD up in North Texas, and then in the Houston area, Tomball ISD. These are districts that are doing very, very well. This morning at our Houston press conference, I mentioned Katy ISD and the great work that's going there. They're at Pearland. So there are districts across our state that are doing very, very well. Also in the Austin area, Round Rock continues to do well. Austin ISD. I mean, there's some districts also that are just consistently doing really nice work across the state of Texas. I also want to mention that we still continue to see sort of this immersion coming out of the pandemic, right? We saw a real dip in many schools after the pandemic, and it seems like right before we saw this increase happening of schools doing better and better, just a drop during the pandemic. But we're emerging, right? Schools are doing increasingly good work. And one of the other things that I think is noteworthy is that the excellence that's happening at these schools is happening even with schools not receiving enough funding over the last 4 years, right? For 4 years, the state legislature withheld sort of the annual increases that were supposed to happen to our school districts. And then last year, they made a big deal about all this new money for public education. That was really just the money that they should have been giving over the last 4 years. So it's not this big new increase. And so in spite of all that, we see improvement happening. And just imagine what could happen if our public schools were funded at levels that are happening in other states. Just imagine if principals and superintendents and teachers had the resources necessary to really do more extraordinary work. When we think about the kids in our state that are really going to be part of this economy and are really just going to benefit, the payback is there. We just really need to think about how do we make sure that we're doing the work necessary to make sure that our kids are successful. I want Christine Thomas, who's the director of our Center for Social Measurement and Evaluation, and really the primary author of our school rankings. Christine's out in San Antonio, and Christine, give us a little bit of insight into the methodology behind the rankings and anything that might have changed.
Thank you. Yeah, so 2024-25 school year rankings covered about over 7,000 public schools in Texas. All eligible elementary, middle, and campuses in Texas were ranked across three indices. So student achievement, campus performance, and growth. So high schools are ranked across four: student achievement, campus performance, growth, and college readiness. So student achievement index measures how well a student performs on standardized tests like STARS, STAR exams, and then it provides insight for student proficiency in those core academic areas. Campus Performance Index compares schools against other schools with similar levels of economic disadvantage, ensuring that we recognize schools that are exceeding expectations. Growth Index measures how students improve academically from year to year. And a school where a student is making rapid gains really deserves to be celebrated. Finally, for high schools, the College Readiness Index looks at graduation rates, AP and IB participation, dual credit enrollment, and just overall preparedness for life after high school. So again, our gold ribbon lists highlight high-performing, high-poverty schools. Magnet schools, college, high schools, and charter schools are now included in our gold ribbon sublists, which is a change from previous year's rankings. High poverty schools are identified as campuses that are more than 75% economically disadvantaged, and those campuses that receive an A or a B with our children at risk rankings are considered high performing, high poverty. So these measures ensure that our rankings reflect not only academic excellence, but also student progress and equitable outcomes. Today, we're thrilled to highlight schools from across the state that are setting the bar for success.
Excellent, Christine. Thank you very much. Christine, are you going to be able to do some interviews in Spanish later on as well? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right, let's go right into the top 10 Texas elementary schools. again, across the state. And we have some principals from some of these places that we want to speak to, some principals that are doing extraordinary work at extraordinary schools. And it goes without saying, all students in Texas are extraordinary. And so we want to do our best with all those kids. So let's go first to the Austin area, the number 10 Texas Elementary School, Cactus Ranch Elementary in Round Rock ISD. Round Rock is a great place. We've been there many times to do press conferences with some of the best schools there. Amber Seeley is with us. Is Amber? Yeah, Amber's here. Amber is the assistant principal at Cactus Ranch Elementary. Amber, give us an idea. What are you guys doing that's so special out there in Round Rock at Cactus Ranch?
Well, thanks so much for having me here today. We want to thank Children at Risk for all you do and your organization does to highlight excellence for schools in Texas. I want to thank our teachers. I think that's something really special about our school is they work tirelessly to create classrooms where students are not only challenged academically, but empowered to use their voices with confidence and purpose. Something unique to us is we are a school of communication. So we're very proud of our academics here, but also we look to grow the whole child. And so we really want to grow those well-rounded students that can think critically, care deeply, and are able to communicate effectively. So I think that's what makes us a little bit unique. But thank you so much for spotlighting the hard work of our teachers and staff.
Excellent. Thank you, Amber, very much. And thank you. Please relay our thanks to all those on your team that are doing this great work out there at Cactus Ranch and Round Rock ISD. The number 9 top Texas elementary from Garland ISD, Garland outside of Dallas, the Walnut Glen Academy for Excellence. The number 8 elementary school across the state of Texas from Texarkana, Martha and Josh Morris Math and Engineering Elementary. And we're seeing across these rankings a lot of these math style schools, these magnet schools. And one of the things that's very interesting is that more and more magnets are going down into the elementary level, especially in some of the medium to large school districts. Our number 7 elementary, also from Round Rock ISD, Canyon Creek Elementary School. We want to congratulate them. Number 6 from Tomball ISD, which is outside of Houston, Creekside Forest Elementary. In Houston ISD, West University Elementary School is number 5. They're a great school. The number 4 school out of Corpus Christi, Windsor Park Gifted and Talented. We're excited that they're a part of this. And I thought that Kimberly was going to be up. I don't see Kimberly on, the principal there at Windsor Park Gifted and Talented in Corpus Christi. But the number 3 school, Memorial Drive Elementary in Spring Branch ISD, one of the great elementary schools in the greater Houston area. Thayer Hutchinson is with us. She's the principal at Spring Branch at Memorial Drive. Thayer, give us a little bit of an idea of what the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bob. And I just want to say thank you so much to Children at Risk. I appreciate you spotlighting all of these incredible school leaders and teachers and students. I touched on this earlier today that at Memorial Drive Elementary, one of our mantras is your story matters. And our story at Memorial Drive Elementary had a very rough summer. We, like so many other schools across the state, lost a student in the Hill Country flooding.
Wow.
And her name was Lucy Dillon, and she was an incredible math and science student. Last year, the year this is, that we did really well, was our first family STEAM night, sponsored by the Dillon family. And this year we just had our second annual family STEAM night, sponsored by the Bright Like Lucy Foundation in Lucy's honor. And we had more projects than we had tables. It was incredibly well attended. It was a big community gathering, and it was just a special moment to celebrate the life and light of this child and to come together as a community. So I feel really honored to be here, and we do this in honor of Lucy and all of our students.
Thank you, Principal Hutchison. Thank you so much for the work that you and your whole team are doing out there. Please send along our congratulations. The number 2 elementary in all of Texas, out of the Houston Independent School District, the Mandarin Immersion Magnet School. So excited to see that school there. They're doing extraordinary work, another one of those magnet schools. And then the number 1 elementary school in the state of Texas from Carroll ISD, sort of in North Texas, Carroll Elementary. So we want to congratulate them for the work they're doing there. Let's go to the top Texas middle schools. We have 2 principals representing our group here. The number 10 from Midland ISD, the Young Women's Leadership Academy. Laura Doty is the principal there. And one of the things that we're seeing, Laura, is that all of these young women's leadership academies do extraordinarily well, right? I mean, every city, I remember doing a press conference in Austin when it was sort of brandish new and doing very well. I've been to the one in Dallas. Just every school seems to be extraordinary. Tell us about yours out in Midland, Laura.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. I am the principal at Young Women's Leadership Academy in Midland. So our school is the product of a partnership between Midland ISD and Young Women's Preparatory Network. And we're proud to be here and be recognized as making change with children that are at risk. So we're an all-girls public school, and we have a very diverse student population. So our goal is to empower girls in an advanced academic setting. There are a number of indicators that our students are why they are at risk: economically disadvantaged, limited English proficiency, underperformance on state assessments from their home campuses. They might be homeless or displaced, but those indicators are not an indication of the student's learning potential. And I believe that I have a staff that lives that mission out every day. So 6th through 12th grade, our students all are in advanced academic courses, and they rise to the occasion because we don't give them a chance or an opportunity not to. So they're college bound. That's the culture of our campus, and they have so many leadership and service opportunities and then expectations of them. So it's important to note that I have a world-class team of educators on my campus, and they truly live out that mission every day. Every year when I am recruiting and it's time to start bringing in a new group of 6th and 7th graders, I tell them I have the best, most hardworking teachers in the district, and you can't do things like this, and you can't close gaps, and you can't meet kids where they are and help them rise if you don't have educators that believe that all kids can. So we've been an A-rated campus since we've been able to get a rating. We're a fairly new school. We're in our 8th year, but probably what I am most proud of for our campus is that we continue to get an A in closing the gaps. So, and I get teary when I think about this, but that means that we are closing the gaps for all of our different student groups. And that means just as much as the overall A rating that we get. So, honestly, it's just, we know that schools, it's an honor to be here with Children at Risk and for shining light on that it is a possibility for excellence and equity to go hand in hand.
Thank you so much, Principal Doty. I think it's really interesting when we look at research around places like Young Women's where you're bringing together students whose parents come from all walks of life, right? And so that peer learning that's happening is just extraordinary. And all those kids are doing so well. So excited to see this happening in Midland. So thank you very much, Laura, for the work that you and your whole team are doing out there. The number 9 middle school in the state of Texas, and we have 3 from Frisco ISD. This is the first one. Number 9 is Fowler Middle School, Frisco ISD. Number 8, Nelson Middle School from Frisco ISD. The number 7 school, middle school, out of San Antonio, a charter school, Basis San Antonio, the Shavano campus. So we're excited to see them here. Number 6 from Dallas ISD, the William B. Travis Vanguard Academy. Excited to see them. Number 5, Spring Branch Academic Institute from Spring Branch ISD, represented here by Cayman McIver, who's the principal there. Cayman, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having us and for honoring us with this. Similar to what some of the other principals have said, our campus is unique in that we serve students from across the district. And there is such a gift when you bring kids from all walks of life together and they have the opportunity to contribute to each other and to experience such different things on a day-to-day basis. And then echoing what everybody has said, incredible teachers that are given the opportunity to pour into kids every single day. And I think as leaders, our job is to ensure that their bucket is filled, because if the teacher's bucket is filled, they can turn around and pour into our kids. And incredible things happen when they do that. So thank you for the recognition. And it's really an honor just to be among such a cool group of people that are doing neat things across the state.
It's not often that we're called a cool group of people. So thank you very much, Cayman. So that's very nice. Number 4, top Texas middle school, Lawler Middle School out of Frisco ISD again. Number 3, out of Dallas ISD, the School for Talented and Gifted in Pleasant Grove. Number 2, out of Houston ISD, the T.H. Rogers School. And then number 1, the Sudie L. Williams Talented and Gifted Academy out of Dallas ISD. And I want to point out that whether it's the middle schools or the high schools in Dallas that are the Talented and Gifted Academy group, incredibly economically diverse, which I think is worth mentioning. So many times when people think of those schools, the talented and gifted, they think they're not going to be as diverse. They're very diverse in Dallas, and we sort of applaud them for that. Let's go to the top high schools across the state of Texas. We have 10 of them here. We have one principal. From Dallas ISD, number 10, Trinidad Garza Early College at Mount View. Number 9, and we have been at this high school a number of times. This school has been honored. Lassa High School, Austin ISD. Stacia Crescenzi is the principal there. Stacia, give us an idea of what you're doing so special, because you consistently are in the top here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bob. And I just want to say that it is a great honor to receive this recognition. I do think that it's important that we, ensure that all students are getting what they need. And I really love some of the things that Laura said. I really appreciate that our superintendent, Mr. Segura, and my executive director, Ms. Corey Maynor, really are supportive of bringing all the students from all across the city of Austin and allowing them the opportunity to attend LASA. And I really give our teachers a lot of credit. When you bring kids from all different areas of the city, you really see a level of diversity that sometimes you don't see in a neighborhood school, just how neighborhoods in a city can be, similar to each other in many ways. And I think that the key and what surprises a lot of staff when they're newly hired to our campus is how much we absolutely believe that every one of our students can succeed at incredibly high levels. And sometimes the hardest part is convincing the students that they can shoot that high. We ensure that every single one of our students is college bound. Every single one of them take AP courses. And when we don't allow them a way out of those high standards, they really meet the bar. And so congratulations to everybody here today and that made your list. I think that it really shows the exciting things happening in the state of Texas.
Yeah, LASA, the Liberal Arts and Science Academy in Austin ISD. And having been there, the vibe is fantastic there too, right? I love that sort of environment that you guys have going over there, Stacia. So thank you very much. Number 8, high school in the state of Texas, the School of Health Professions, Dallas ISD. Number 7, the Marvin E. Robinson School of Business and Management, Dallas ISD. Number 6, the Kinder High School for Performing and Visual Arts, where Beyonce went, by the way, Houston ISD. Number 5, Westlake Academy Charter School. Number 4, also out of Houston ISD, the DeBakey High School for Health Professions. Number 3, I was there this morning, this is the Carnegie Vanguard High School in Houston ISD. And then our top 2 are out of Dallas ISD, Judge Barefoot Sanders Law Magnet and the School for Talented and Gifted, Dallas ISD. Again, great, wonderful schools. We applaud the work that's going on at those places. I want to go now to our Gold Ribbon schools. And our Gold Ribbon is sort of a special recognition that you don't see everywhere. Again, this is a school that has over 75% of its kids are coming from economically disadvantaged or low-income families, yet this school is still succeeding. These are schools that are getting A's. And for those of us that have worked in public education, you understand that this is the tough nut to crack sometimes, right? The kids that are coming from zip codes that are much more difficult, lower income, and yet we see the success happening. This means that these are extraordinary groups of teachers, extraordinary groups of, they've engaged the parents and great school leaders. Let's go to the elementary level. At number 10 from Rio Grande City, this is General Ricardo Sanchez Elementary. Also, we have from Dallas ISD, number 9, Jack Lowe Senior Elementary School. From Laredo ISD, number 8, Dee Dee Hatcher Elementary. Also from Laredo, McDonald Elementary School at number 7. From Brownsville at number 6, the Raul Izaguirre STEM Scholars Prep. From United ISD at number 5, Kazan Elementary School. From Laredo ISD, the number 4 elementary school, Dacius Elementary School. Also, and here the next 3, also all from Laredo, Lion Decker Elementary School at number 3, Ryan Elementary School at number 2, and Heights Elementary School at number 1. Great to see the work that's going on in Laredo. We applaud the work that's going on there. Let's go to the top gold ribbon middle schools. Number 10, from Monterey Park College Prep, one of the IDEA public schools. That's at number 10. Also at number 9, another IDEA school, IDEA Ingram Hills Prep. Number 8, from New Boston ISD, New Boston Middle School. From Longview ISD, number 7, Middle School, Judson STEAM Academy. Number 6, the IDEA Riverview College Prep, one of the IDEA public schools. From Hillsborough ISD, our number 5 middle school, Hillsborough Junior High. From Houston, Amigos Por Vida Charter School, Friends for Life Middle School. Number 3 middle school, also out of Houston ISD, Project Chrysalis Middle School. The number 2 middle school across the state, Young Women's Leadership Academy, Aldine ISD. This is the number 2 gold ribbon middle school. And then the number 1 gold ribbon middle school, School for Talented and Gifted in Pleasant Grove ISD. Again, just extraordinary work. And let's go to our gold ribbon high schools. Arlington Collegiate High School out of Arlington ISD is number 10. The Y East Early College High School, gold ribbon high school out of Houston ISD is number 9. Mission Consolidated ISD is number 8 gold ribbon high school down in Mission, Texas. Out of Houston ISD, the number 7 gold ribbon, North Houston Early College High School. From Brownsville ISD is our number 6 gold ribbon school. It's Brownsville Early College High School. Out of Houston ISD, the number 5 gold ribbon, Challenge Early College. Number 4, and actually the top 4 gold ribbon high schools are out of Dallas ISD, Trinidad Garza Early College at Mountain View. Number 3 is the School of Health Professions, Dallas ISD. Number 2, Marvin E. Robinson School of Business Management, Dallas ISD. And then number 1 is the Judge Barefoot Sanders Law Magnet, Dallas ISD. I want to congratulate all of these schools, but I want to go out to West Texas because we saw an extraordinary thing happen where West Texas, El Paso, sort of rose to the top this year in terms of a region. And the top El Paso middle school was Montwood Middle School in Socorro ISD. And Melissa Saenz Martinez is here. Melissa, what's going on? El Paso is a great place. I've never seen so much civic pride as when I go out to El Paso. But tell me about what's happening in your school that makes it the top El Paso middle school.
Yes, it's a beautiful city. I'm glad to be representing the 915 here in Far West, Texas. Again, thank you to Children at Risk for this recognition and also for recognizing all of the amazing work that's being done throughout Texas with educators and administrators. So yes, we are super excited to be a part of this recognition. At Montwood Middle School, we believe that students deserve endless opportunities, and that's just not our school. It is actually in the Socorro Independent School District. So it takes a team, right, to make things happen. And so everything from district level support all the way down to the hard work of the students and the parents. But I cannot rave enough about the teachers, just as the other principals did. We all believe we have the best teachers. And I'll tell you, I have the best teachers here. And just so you know, just a couple background about our campus here. Economically disadvantaged at 76.3%, or at risk at 52%, emergent bilingual at 25%, special education at 19%. We are in area Fort Bliss, and so we have a strong military connected family as well at 13%, 95% Hispanic. And we do not let any of this define what our students can do. We actually have individualized learning plan for all of our students. Our teachers know our kids the best. And as an administrator, we have to trust them in regards to knowing and supporting this guidance on what they're doing for kids every day in and day out. Also to our parents and our community members who are so supportive in regards to what we do day in and day out as educators. Again, so we believe that we also have a strong support for our employees in regards to balance and wellness. We have a dual commitment here for data-driven support for our students at Rigorous, and also a very intentional investment in our staff. We work so they build teams, they get to know each other, they know to talk about students and their needs as they go from one year to the next with the vertical alignment. So again, there's a lot of aspects that go into education that people may not know from the outside in. And so again, thank you so much. We appreciate the support from Children at Risk, and we're so happy to be representing Far West Texas here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sines, and thank you. And please pass along the great work that we're thanking you guys for, that you guys are doing out there. So talking to Melissa brings up another point that I wanted to make. Just two more points before we finish up today. One is that a third of all the kids across the state of Texas are children of immigrants or immigrants themselves. And these children, all of us who work in education know, especially first generation immigrants, do extraordinarily well in school and love their country and love Texas, right? And one of the things that I like to point out is that when we're talking to school leaders and when we're talking to teachers, they're only caring about the success of these kids. How do we make sure that this child is able to grow up and be successful, and that we're doing our very darndest for this child? And sometimes I wish that all of our political leaders could see the passion that teachers bring to making sure that children are going to be okay, and that we're doing everything possible for them to be successful. It's hard to live in a climate of hate, right, for many of these children. And yet we still see them being successful. And so in the end, we're just caring about kids here. We just want to make sure that kids are successful. The final thing I want to mention, and I talked about this at the Houston press conference this morning, is just to pile on and piggyback this idea, teachers. The work that's happening with teachers across our state is extraordinary. And when we think about kids that have sort of broken the cycle of poverty. And I was one of those kids growing up in poverty, and it was teachers, specific teachers. And I remember in Puerto Rico, Missy Perez, who was my teacher, and she was just making sure that I was going to be successful, realizing that I was maybe different and that I could be successful. And I think about all the teachers across the state of Texas that are really doing this extraordinary work to make sure kids are successful. Not to mention the school leaders and superintendents that are going above and beyond to change things for all students to be successful. I just want to really thank all of you and all the teachers across our state that are doing this extraordinary work. And thank you to each and every one of you for coming on the press conference today. Christine, any final thoughts before we sign off from our press conference today?
No final thoughts. Yeah.
Okay, very good. And thank you guys very much. Melissa, Stacia, Cayman, Thayer, Amber, Laura, thank you all for the great work that each one of you is doing. And we'll see everyone next time. Keep up the great work. Thank you all very much.